WWE buying TNA confirmed? Hello and welcome to FTTR, I'm Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about last night's NXT. It's very rare that I actually talk about NXT because there's so much wrestling that I watch, and NXT doesn't really fit into that schedule, but NXT had to go around and pull a jaw-dropping surprise, well, two surprises in fact, and we will dive into them in just a moment. But before we dive into that, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below on these two debuts, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them as we dive into this. So ignore the intro because it's silly, it's not happening, okay? If it does, wow, crazy. But NXT, we had two debuts, two big old debuts, some Forbidden Door-ish debuts. One is more consequential than the other, in my opinion, so we'll get that one out of the way first, and that is Ethan Page officially signing with WWE and inserting himself into the main event scene of NXT by attacking Trick Williams. He was the one who attacked Noam Dar, seemingly setting up a title program for NXT Battleground maybe. Or maybe we'll elongate this a little bit out, because I think personally, have Ethan Page win the title. Like, I love Trick Williams. I think Trick Williams is really good. But Ethan Page is, like, going to be really hot coming off this. And I think pulling a really swift title win for him. He's well established. He's worked in AEW. He's worked in TNA. He could really sort of carry that brand into a new era, whether it be Trick Williams wins it back. But I think coming off this debut, you don't want him to get necessarily Sean Speared, which I think is what sort of happened with Sean Spears, and to an extent Lexis King as well, since they debuted in NXT. I think this is a really hot debut, and I think he needs to win the NXT title to solidify himself as like a true staple of NXT. You could build that brand around Trick Williams and Ethan Page. I think that feud has a lot of longevity to it, because both are great on the mic. They've both got great charisma that I think was untapped in sort of the AEW run that Ethan Page had. And I think that's a really interesting dynamic to have there. That'd be a really, really good feud to have going forward. And yes, that was the first debut. I'm very high on that. I'm very high on the Ethan Page debut. I think he's a great fit for NXT. Next debut is a little more consequential, as we found out who Roxanne Perez will be defending her NXT Women's Championship against at NXT Battleground, and it is none other than TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace. I don't think anyone was expecting this. I've never seen, I can't think of an announcement that has been this under wraps and this sort of quiet, because this is insane, right? We have WWE working with TNA. Granted, we saw Jordynne Grace in the Royal Rumble as Knockouts champion, but this is a champ versus champ match. This is Jordynne Grace potentially winning the NXT Championship and becoming a double champion in TNA and WWE. I don't think that's ever happened like in the last 30 years that I can remember, a champion from another promotion holding a belt challenging for a WWE title. I genuinely cannot remember when that happened. If someone can fact check that for me, it'd be greatly appreciated. And I think that this is an absolute win for WWE, getting Jordynne Grace, not signing her, but getting her to test the waters of NXT, of WWE. She is a WrestleMania main eventer just already. I think Jordynne Grace is just that talented. She's got a great look, she's a great promo, she's a great wrestler, she is incredible, and she will be main eventing WrestleManias in years to come. How I think this plays out for Jordynne Grace, if I was doing this, just have Jordynne Grace win the title, have her be a double champ, because you will set the wrestling world on fire if you have a WWE champion and a TNA champion at the same time, a double champ of both promotions. You will ignite just talk about your brand. And I think that's really what NXT has sort of been missing. As much as I like the pay-per-views that NXT put on, I don't find their weekly television that compelling, and I hate the arena. I think the arena looks ugly as sin. But I think you could really get the world talking by having this incredible swerve. Like, it'd be so interesting. And what I do want to talk about now is sort of the big beneficiary of this, and that is TNA, because I think I was going to do a video on this at some point. TNA, from the start of the year, has had maybe the biggest decline, or sort of the most instant decline that I can remember in years. From where they were with that first Hard to Kill pay-per-view and the amount of hype there was going into that and the rebranding of TNA, to where they are now, I think has been incredibly fumbled. I think it's been really poorly handled. The exit of Scott D'Amore and sort of the creative that they've got going on there just doesn't seem that interesting. However, you add NXT Women's Champion Jordynne Grace to your programming, you're going to get a few more eyeballs on there. You're going to get a bit of the WWE rub, which I think is only the right thing for you to think about in this deal with TNA. Because TNA, what have they got to lose? They got nothing to lose. They can only gain from this. WWE can't really lose from this either, other than getting eyes on another promotion, but that's just going to set the world on fire talking. So I think it's a win-win situation here with how they've pulled it off, and I'm just incredibly excited to see where it goes from here. Seeing a potential NXT Women's Champion on TNA is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then you look at the dream matches. Like, I think Roxanne will probably win. I think she'll probably win. However, if you're looking at the dream matches there, you've got a Julia lined up. Jordynne Grace versus Julia on an NXT live event. Sign me up. Sign me up. It sadly probably won't happen, but that is my dream. That is my dream. Jordynne Grace versus Julia for the NXT Women's Championship and the TNA Championship. Why not? I think it's awesome. I think this is so cool, and it is only beneficial for both companies to do this. And we'll see where this WWE Forbidden Door goes. We've seen them work with All Japan. Potentially there's talks with Noah. The president of Noah wants to do some stuff with WWE. It's a wild old It's a wild old wrestling world, was what I nearly said. It's a wild old wrestling world. And yeah, keep your eyes open, because we are getting some insane stuff right now. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you like this? Do you not? Let me know everything about this angle, and I'll try and apply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.